Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Sympathy Kiss, continuing Usui's route. Brain goes through 7,000 different names. I don't know why when we start this, I see this man and I just like, I don't know what his real name is because Liquor Daddy is the first thing I say. Also, for some reason, my brain still keeps getting. So I'm like, we're not in Higa's route anymore. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that, but I mean, my brain's a little behind because we did that in Higa's route. I was like, Yoshioka's route, not even the same, not even close. We did several routes after that. Oh, God. I really have to focus when I sit down and do this. But anyway, continuing with Liquor Daddy, we're in his perspective because this is the after the spin-off story. I was going to say the after story, the spin-off story. So we just had hit that when we ended. So here I am again. I stood in front of Evergreen, staring at the exterior. The doctor said it would take a month for my sprain to heal, but I couldn't take a month off with our current shift structure. I could shorten business hours, or I could see if some of the part-timers could come in for extra shifts. No, they've all got other commitments. I had 2 part-timers on staff, but neither knew how to do my job, and I didn't want to overwhelm them. I wondered how I'd get this place back open. And then I felt someone's gaze on me. I turned to see who was there. Oh, Miss Omasawa, what are you doing here? Your office is closed today, isn't it? And the next day... Oh, we're at his house. Sir, why are your walls just solid fucking... Do you live in a basement? Do you live in the basement of your bar? Because your walls are like concrete. Like, this is basement vibes. How is anything stuck on the wall? You know what I mean? Because those look like, you know what I like the fancy concrete slabs you put up because they got like the little buttonholes in them. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not... Oh no, there's a window. But like, you need some wallpaper or paint on the walls, sir, because concrete's not the look. Everything else is nice. You know what it feels like in here? It feels very 70s in here, and I'm here for it. Like, you know what I mean? There's something about it. I'm in a 70s basement, but without like the musty 70s basement smell. Like, somehow we managed to get the store back open today. Both part-timers came in and we proceeded with a limited menu. Even though yesterday was a holiday, Miss Amasawa came and said she was worried. I do like the fact that we get to see his house. And of course he's got a fully stocked liquor shelf over there. She even offered to help at Evergreen in the evenings after her usual work. Glad as I was for her kind sentiment, I simply couldn't ask her to do that. I didn't see her today. I hope that means she's given up on trying to help. If she had pushed any harder today, I probably would have given in. But for some reason, I felt lonely. As though I was secretly hoping she would come. Oh, how adorable. Just be a man and stand up and, like, tell me your feelings. I didn't get calls that often. I was surprised when my phone buzzed. It was Kobase. Having some idea what it might be about, I answered, "Oh my god, are you 2 lovers?" I love it when my boss babe and my liquor daddy are together. Hello, this is Usui. Usui, it's been a while. This is Kobase. This is Rare. Everything alright? How are your injuries? It looks like it'll take a month to heal. And nothing's broken, so as long as I don't do anything crazy, it should be fine. I take it you heard about this from Miss Omasawa? I like it that our boyfriends are like, you guys should talk in the man harem, is all I'm saying. Help each other out. Yes, she told me everything. In that case, you know that absolutely none of this was her fault. Yes, but I'm afraid Omasawa doesn't see it that way. She asked me if she could work at Evergreen. Oh, wait a minute! Are you gonna try to tell me? Wait, no. Back it up. So, like, I was like, when he's calling him, I'm like, he's calling him and it has something to do with like our proposal or whatever. But then it just like, it took a minute for it to sink in because I was just like too in love with the idea of my boyfriends being boyfriends on the side. Kobase's really good at picking up strays though, because he's got Liquor Daddy. He brought home our stray cat. Like, he brought home Nori. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, this man, I was like, you are the best because you like to pick up our strays for us and like bring them into the fold. You're like, no, I got this. Like, you can't tell me this man's not a little bisexual. I'm just saying. And then you've got Labradoodle, who's wingman enough left, right, and front and center. Like, I mean, the two of them together, it's like they're the best combination of like boyfriends to have to help you pick up other boyfriends. Like, it's just they really are great. But like when we made the presentation to Boss Babe, we're up there like this, and it was like the dumbest you're like, this is the stupidest fucking idea ever. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I get if they had worded it differently, but like the way she worded it was so stupid. And Kabasa's like, no, sounds great. He's like, listen, I had to tell her dumbass idea sounded great, so will you just go with it? God, because it's like she's getting irritating. Like, you know she's in love with you, right? Jesus. Like, I find that funnier somehow. We come up with this kind of convoluted, stupid idea, and Kabase is like, you were almost there. Like, if you said, like, you wanted to talk about, like, hidden gem places for people to relax and, like, give them an insight onto the bar or, like, whatever, but you don't have to wash dishes there in order to do that? So, like, you're an idiot. Like, because, like, there was a better way to pitch the idea and be able to help out, you know what I mean? But the way she pitched it kind of came out stupid. And I want to blame the writers for that, but now I think it's funnier that she's like, I pitched this dumbass idea, and Kobase's like, yeah, sounds great. I'm gonna have to call Usui and be like, dude, just let her fucking help you, because this is so fucking ridiculous. Like, girl's, Jesus, like, she's never gonna get off this train, just fucking, like, let her help you. I find that funnier somehow. Oh, this game's funny. Anyway. She came and talked to me as well. I turned her down, of course. That one doesn't take no for an answer quite so easily. Because I'm a little dumb, so... What do you mean? I haven't figured out what yet, but I think she's got something in mind. Something in mind? I won't be able to say for sure until I get a look at it myself, but this is before! This is before the project proposal! You're like, can I go work at Evergreen? And he's like, the fuck? And she's like, here's my project proposal. And he's like, oh. And he had to spin it in a way that wasn't stupid. Sorry, this makes it funnier. If she comes to me with enough material to convince me to let her go through with whatever this is, would you be willing to let her help out? I don't think it would be good for her to take any half measures with her current job. At least that's how I feel. Understood. I'm glad she has such a good boss. Either way, I'll keep it in mind. Are you guys gonna flirt now? Because, like, I'm okay. You know what? Kobase should have come over and talked to you in person so you could kiss later. I'm just saying, I am okay with the fact that Kobase keeps picking up our strays. Like, he is just the perfect man in the man harem. And, of course, yes, okay, Saotome is also, like, really good for, like, wrangling the man harem men and being like, you want to be in this man harem, even when they're like, I don't know about that. And he's like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Come on. Yeah, you do. Like, what? Everybody needs a Labradoodle to pick up boys with, so it's perfect. Didn't think that the Labradoodle you were going to pick up men with was going to be another man, and yet it's not in a bisexual way either. They're just like, you know what? He's so charming, and like, I don't want her near him. Wait a minute. And then they get jealous, and then they realize they're in love. I'm just saying, Kobase and Saotome are like the best fucking wingmen for the man harem fucking ever. It's just so good. It's so fucking ridiculous. Oh, I love it. They did it so well, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of ridiculous for your boss to be calling the guy you have a crush on to be like, she really wants to help out. So, like, she's going to pitch me some stupid fucking idea and I'm going to have to go with it and you're going to have to go with it, okay? Because she's not going to take no for an answer. So just fall in love with the woman already. Jesus. And, like, she made me take home her stray. I had to pick up a stray man who lives on the streets and take him home. He's a really good cook, though, and he's, like, really pretty. So, like, whatevs. Like, I mean, why is this man picking up our garbage? So fucking hilarious. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I needed this. Oh, God, this game's so good. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, I'd appreciate that. And truth be told, I doubt she'll be able to convince me to agree to whatever she's thinking. That's a load of bullshit, because I came up to you with the dumbest fucking idea, and you were like, yeah, I guess. Really? If anyone could pull it off, I bet it would be her. You might be right about that. I'll see you around. That's because you'll fall for anything I say because you're in love with me. It also makes you a little stupid, but like, whatevs. The call ended there. As somehow I got the feeling she'd almost certainly convinced Kobase with her plan. And that she'd come back to Evergreen again with some new idea for helping out. I found myself looking forward to it. Like, I do find this little conversation cute and kind of... Like, it's funny because it's like, we think we came up with this great idea and you're like, well, it wasn't really probably the best idea. And it really did not. She did not... The concept and the way she presented it were stupid. Okay? The idea of like, I want to get to know the bartender and the atmosphere and I want to give inside information, not just like, here's a really great place to go. Okay, tell me about the ambiance. Tell me about the people that work there. Tell me why it's a hidden gem. You know what I mean? You want that insider information and being like, and if I helped out there, well, that would be good because I feel guilty about, hurting his hand. But like, I'd get to know the ins and outs and a little bit more and have more in-depth information than just walking in, eating there and going, the food's great, the liquor's good, and it feels kind of cool. No, you want a little more information, and like spinning it like that. Or then being like, we could take two birds with one stone. We can tell people who are just looking for a really great place, like, about the ambiance and the people that work there and the vibe that's there and the atmosphere and the food and like all of that. You just get the high level, what those people just kind of want, right? But then we can also get a little more in depth if they really want to get to know their bartender or whatever, what motivated them to open the place, a little more inside information. Okay, a little deeper dive. And an even deeper dive for people who might be thinking like, man, what would it be like to run a bar? Here's some more information. Just, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, oh, I love this dish. It's so good. Okay, yeah, I want to know that the food's good. But then you might be like, ooh, what is this flavor? Oh, it's here's some basic ingredients. Okay, but, and then you got the ingredient list. But then you've got the little added stuff of, oh, well, you have to simmer the meat in the marinade or whatever for like, an hour on low heat. And that's what you know what I mean? And then there's like the in-depth cooking thing. It's not just, here's a dish that tastes great. It's, here's the ingredients. Okay, that's the next step. And then there's the little tips and tricks that make it really pop. Like, oh yeah, you could throw everything together in a pan and be done. But if you simmer that meat on low for an hour, you let it marinate the night before, and then you simmer it on low for an hour before you, then it really pops. You know what I mean? That's the deeper dive information. If we presented it like that, it wouldn't sound like such a stupid fucking idea. We're like, I'm going to go work at a bar to tell people about hidden gems. How the fuck is that going to do what you're trying to do? But they didn't present the information properly because she wasn't thinking about that. And Kabase's like, yes, awesome, sounds great. Because he's like, she's going to come up with something fucking stupid to help you. But, at least he could spin it and be like, I don't know why you have to go work at the bar and wash dishes in order to tell people about it, but fine, sure. At least you came up with something. Let's talk about, hidden gem places to chill out after work. All right, don't know why you have to wash dishes there to do this, but okay. Whatever, girl. Could have done it without doing that, but like, he let us get away with it because we got Boss Babe wrapped around our pinky and it's kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway.
Speezy, do you have a moment? I just wanted to check in and see how everything's going at Evergreen. Oh, I'm just curious. As a senior in your department, I want to look out for you. No reason in particular. I know your schedule, and you've been great at providing progress reports, but, well, are you finding it difficult to do both jobs? Director Kobase is a little concerned, too. I told her that things were going well. I wasn't at a point yet where I could fully help out with making cocktails, but I had learned how to make a few simple ones. Also, a lot of people have to have 2 jobs because their full-time job doesn't pay enough, and in this fucking economy, you know what I mean? So, like, none of your bosses give a flying fuck. They're like, oh, when you're here, don't fucking fall asleep. I don't give a fuck what you do. And then, like, I don't care if you haven't slept in 3 fucking days. So, it's really nice that our boss cares. It is for a story, and he did authorize it, but we could absolutely have gone and worked 2 other part-time fucking jobs without his permission, to be fair. Maybe. I don't know what the rules are in Japanese society. Maybe there's different rules like, whoa, you don't do that. In America, it's like, get 6 fucking jobs. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't ever sleep. Why can't you do 4 jobs at once, slacker? Oh, we're a big bag of dicks, aren't we? That reminds me, how's Usui's injury? Is he getting better? He seemed to be doing a lot better when we saw him yesterday.
I told her that he'd been resting his hand whenever he could. When orders came in, one after another, I worried he might be overextending himself, but he didn't let it show.
It's pretty tough, but I guess that's expected with a wrist injury. Usui seems like the type to do things efficiently, so that probably makes his injury seem less severe.
Here's the thing, doesn't he have like a brace? To like help prevent his wrist from moving? You know, I don't even mean like an ace bandage. I mean, when my sister's cat attacked me, because he was a little bit of a psycho, and anytime he saw a cat or something outside, he'd get all, like, his tail would get, like, he'd be so puffed up, and I made the mistake of walking past him, and he lunged at me and bit my hand, and, like, it got infected, so I had to go, and, like, my hand was only infected, and I had a hand brace that basically, like, my hand was swollen to the point where it looked like my skin was going to explode. Like, it was just swollen. It's not like I had a wrist injury, but I had a wrist brace, like, that they gave me to put on, and it was a stiff brace so that, like, I could move my fingers, but I couldn't move my wrist. So, like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a brace like that so that, like, he can still do work and he can still do stuff, but at least it's not, if you're not moving your wrist, you're not aggravating the injury as much. You know what I mean? Than, like, moving it around, doing shaking cocktails, you know? So I'm surprised he doesn't have that to at least help kind of like keep his wrist stationary to like prevent more damage. Anyway. I nodded. I felt the same way.
I hadn't really considered it before, but he lives alone, right? I hope he can take care of everything at home.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wait, now we're gonna go move in with the man. As Oe mentioned it, I immediately thought of all the difficulties of living with a wrist injury. Again! Like, yeah, it'd be difficult because you're used to bending your... It's kind of like when you hurt your back. You don't realize how fucking difficult existing is and how much you do with your back. Like, you're like, I threw my back out and I can't breathe because apparently I need my back to breathe. Like... You know what I mean? There are certain body parts you just don't realize until they hurt, and you're like, huh, shit, existing is just suckish right now. And like putting on your socks, putting on your shoes, putting on your pants, zipping, like anything, you're moving your wrist all the time, so yes. But like, again, if you have a wrist brace on to do that, then you kind of learn to like stiff wrist it, and you're like, I can pull on my pants because I can still grab them with my fingers, and like, but I'm not flapping my wrist all over. You know what I mean? Like, they're making it seriously sound like he's got a broken bone and he hasn't had it treated. We're not in the zombie apocalypse. Even in the zombie apocalypse, people would be setting bones with, like, sticks and shit and, like, strapping you to it. So, like, in modern age of medicine, why doesn't he have a brace or something on to, like, help him prevent moving his wrist as much as possible? Like, it just...
I know, it's just to make him look like an invalid or whatever, but it's like, Jesus Christ, the man, like, holy hell. It's okay. Although, maybe he's got a girlfriend or something.
I'd believe it. Penny's a real lady killer.
You know what, Satame? You were trying to help me, but now you're not helping me. Satame spun around, leaned back in his chair, and locked his hands behind his head, joining in on the conversation. It's funny, because you went to Usui and were like, oh, well, maybe I'll hit on her. And he's like, oh, you're jealous. That's interesting. And now you're trying to... Are you trying to see if I'm in love with him? Because you don't know that I am? Are you... What are you doing, Labradoodle? You're supposed to be on my side here. It wouldn't be that rare for a guy like that to have a live-in girlfriend. Or a wife. Minato spoke up without looking away from his computer screen. As everyone said, it wouldn't be surprising. A man as sensible and handsome as Usui could have easily had a committed partner. Here's the thing, though. She's gonna now freak out about that, but it's like, okay, if we were hitting on him and we leaned in to kiss him, the first thing it would have been like, I have a girlfriend, back the fuck off. Not almost letting me get, no. Then you'd have to be like, well, first of all, when I kind of was flirting with him and he warned me about men, he should have been like, you really need to be careful. Also, I have a girlfriend, just so you know. Like, okay. And maybe, but maybe he wouldn't be thinking you were hitting on him. Sure, fine. But, and maybe he's the type of person that doesn't talk about his personal life. But the second you were leaning in for a kiss and embraced him, you would have been like, I have a girlfriend, you need to back off. Not gonna let you kiss him. So you should think in your head, if he has a girlfriend, he's a scumbag because he was gonna let me kiss him, and what the fuck? This is not, I grabbed him and kissed him and he didn't know. He knew! He knew you were coming in for a kiss, it was slow moving. Fuck that shit. So, like, you shouldn't be worried about a girlfriend. Oh no, it might break my heart. You should be like, what a piece of shit. That he knows that I'm into him and he doesn't bother to tell me he has a girlfriend? Because that's the first thing that you would try. I'm seeing someone to get that other person to back the fuck off. You know what I mean? So, like, we shouldn't be concerned about that. We should be like, he would have told me because I don't think he's a douchebag. You know? A douchebag wouldn't tell you, but does Usui seem like a douchebag? No. Therefore, you know he'd tell you, so. Visions of Usui and his potential lover living together began to plague my mind. It's me, I'm his living together lover. I was like, his potential lover. I'm not his potential lover, I am. So much so that I found it difficult to concentrate on my work. Later that night, my thoughts drifted as I cleaned and dried Evergreen's glasses. This is where, if you're worried about it, you're like, okay, so, I just wanted to apologize for the other night because it didn't even occur to me that, you know, I should have asked before I tried to make a move on you that you have a girlfriend or a wife or something, and, like, I would never cross that line knowing that, and whatever. And then he'd be like, no, it's cool, I'm single. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know? Instead of like, oh, it hurts me so much that he's got a girlfriend. No, you should be like, oh shit, I'm a home-wrecking bitch. And apologize, and then when he's like, don't have a girlfriend, then you're like, so you're saying there's a chance. And then you go right back to trying to woo the man, okay? It's totally fine. Until he's like, not interested, please don't do that. And then you stop. But he has not specifically said those words. And he's been kind of giving us the green flags. He's kind of got his arm out trying to hold us back, but he's giving us all the green flags and he's letting us encroach. So, you know, whatever. My mind jumped right back to the conversation I had with the others at the office today. And all the images of Usui and his hypothetical partner came rushing back. Instead of letting it fester, I decided to find a way to casually ask if he had a significant other. Good, she's being smart. I'm just so used to our main characters being dumbasses and letting it stew and fester and never communicating that it's like, that's just what I assume she's going to do. And then she's like, let me work this in and find out. Good for you! Something wrong, Miss Omasawa. Usui had come up to me, probably sensing my troubles again. again, this is the best thing to do, as embarrassing as it would be. Like, I am really sorry I almost kissed you the other night because, like, if you have a girlfriend or like a partner, like, holy shit, just, woo, that would have been so bad. And then he'd be like, nope, you know?
The bar's empty. If there's something bothering you, I'd be happy to discuss it. If it's something you can tell me, of course.
I wondered how Usui could be so mature, so attentive to those around him. He was the total opposite of me, always looking inward. Anyway, it was a good opening for my investigation into his relationship status. I started by asking about his housework. The thing is, I mean, that's actually not a bad way to do it. Like, is it easy, or like, are you having a hard time doing shit at home with your wrist? I didn't even think about that, you know? But like her being like, he's so mature thinking about other people. It's like, that's not a level of maturity, though. You know what I mean? Like, some people are just outwardly focused and naturally nurturing and empathetic to everyone around them, and other people just aren't. Either because they don't get it, you know, like, oh, I just don't get people, or they're just introverted or whatever. Like, that's not a sign of maturity. So I just think it's really weird that they were like, he's so mature because he can, like, think about the people around him. And it's like, that has nothing to do with maturity. It doesn't make you immature because you are inwardly focused. Like, that's just the nature of how people are. Like, oh, he's extroverted, therefore he's mature. That's fucking a stupid association. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, being empathetic should be something that everyone should strive to be. A lot of times, you're not always going to be able to do it, okay? Because you'll literally drive yourself insane. But, you know what I mean? Like, him, just his outward that doesn't make us immature and him more mature. Like, that's a weird association for them to make there, but that's a very immature association for her to be making. To be fair, like, it's not how the world works. It's like they're trying to, like, constantly be like, oh, I'm so immature and he's so mature. You stop that. Don't. Because you're misinterpreting things on purpose to try to make her seem immature, and it's like, but she's really not. I mean, like, but, you know, I don't, anyway.
Are you worried about me? I'm sorry to keep troubling you. Oh, you were worried about me, sorry. I do all the housework myself, so I can't say my wrist hasn't impacted things at all. Oh, me? Yes, I live alone. It's not that much of a problem, but my apartment has become a bit of a mess recently. I mean, whatevs, you'll fix it when your wrist is better, it's okay.
So his injury really was affecting him at home. I pushed further. Is there a way I can help? Like, I'm very good at cleaning. Like, I mean, theirs are both like, is there a way I can help? Like, that, I mean, I feel like, is there a way I can help is better than, I'm really good at cleaning. Although, I'm really good at cleaning is, I'm just throwing that out there, and then if you want my help, you'll ask. I'm just telling you a fact. You know? Yeah, I'm very good at cleaning. Okay, like, this is the one time I'm very good at cleaning. It's like, not weird. It's like, I'm good at cleaning. I'm just throwing out a fact. I'm not offering my help, but I'm offering my help. You know what I mean?
You mean, you want to help me clean up my place? I'll even fold your fucking delicates, sir.
I nodded and suggested stopping by this weekend.
I don't think it's right for me to have you over at my place.
He flatly turned me down. Though we hadn't discussed it, I did try to kiss him the last time we were alone together. It made sense that Usui wouldn't want me visiting his place. He's like, I need you, like, I mean, to be fair, we know we're gonna romance and we know he's kind of interested and he's just trying to, like, she's probably gonna change her mind. She's not gonna be interested in an old guy like me, like, whatever. But at the moment with him being like, we tried to kiss him and he's just like, let's not bring that up. And I don't think you should come clean my place. It's like, we are starting to feel like a stalker. Like, they're giving the wrong vibes off in this route. Like, you know it's gonna turn out okay, but you're like, but right now it's like, he's like, she tried to kiss me and I'm trying to tell her no, and if I let her to my house, she's just gonna show up fucking randomly, and it's like, Yeah, no, we're the red flags. Shit. Wait a minute. She's not really, like, but you know what I mean? Like, you can see that. You're like, oh, I see the faint whisper of red flags here, and it's not him. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know if that's what they intended, but it's like, did they read through this afterward and realize how bad it makes us look? Like, shit. But I couldn't relent now. Yes, you could! Yes, you could! Don't be that girl! Stop it! My reason for refusing? Well, I mean, it's not proper for a man to invite a woman he's not involved with to his home. You are so old-fashioned and adorable. I kind of love it. Is it because I've noticed you? What a thing to say. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? Basui started to stammer when I asked if his hesitance was because he was aware of me now. I know what they mean, but it's so funny. He's like, were you a ghost before? Like, I know what they mean, but... Look, of course I don't think of you that way. I'm more than 20 years your senior. In the past, those words would have hurt me, but not this time. I didn't let up. If he didn't think of me that way, visiting his place shouldn't be a problem, right? Oh, girl is smart. I was like, I'm not going to let up. No, he just said he doesn't think of you that way. Let go. And she's like, then me helping you clean is not a big deal. I'm just a part-time worker helping. I'm just a friendly acquaintance helping you clean. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be weird me coming to your house. It would be like having a maid service. Except for you're not paying me. Unless you want to pay me, then sure. Well, I suppose, but... I promised that I wouldn't try to make a move on him. And then you throw that in, and then it just makes it weird, but... I feel like that should be my line. But... understood. I do like the fact, though, that she's like, I won't try to put any moves on you or be creepy. And he's like, shouldn't I be the one saying that? But like, okay, I guess. And we're the ones kind of being red flaggy and kind of creepy. All right. Hey, you know what? I don't... It's funny as hell, actually. Asumi gave me a defeated smile. I mean, it's on the borderline of like, oh no, it's kind of cringy because you're like, no, don't be that girl. But like, we know it's going to work out well. And like, he's not like, no. He's like, I'm just 20 years older than you. Like, he's hesitant about the age thing. So like, eventually he'll wear it down. But it does feel a little weird because you're like, we're trying to break him of the whole, no, 20 years is too much. Whereas if the roles were reversed and he was like, come on, baby, doesn't matter. You're 20 years younger than me, but whatever. You'd be like, grooming, gross, stop it. So we're doing the kind of gross, creepy things, to be fair. But it's really not as bad as it could be. But there's that little, it's just that little step up and they're like, it's very, very light pastel pink flags that you were like, they're faded in the background, but they could turn into red flags. They're very faint and fuzzy in the background there, but it's still slightly concerning. It's actually kind of funny at the moment, but it's like, ooh, they could go really bad with this. I know they're not gonna, but you know. Man, we're being a... I don't know. I mean, I love this man, but I don't necessarily know at the moment, like, the route I'm finding the humor in it, but there is still, like I said, the underlying, like, I have to give the bird a break, so, like, the underlying, like, we're being a little bit of a creep. Like, and I don't think they're intending it to be that way, but it's just, like, you can see the shadow of the creep. You know what I mean? And I don't think that I hope they're not intending her to be that way, you know what I mean? But she's like kind of forcing herself into like, I'll come over and help you clean. And he's like, nah, that'd be inappropriate. Well, you don't think of me as well. Trust me, I won't put a move on you and everything. And you're like, part of it's funny because like, this is how men act. So we're pulling this shit on him. But it's also kind of disturbing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they could have had some other kind of drama or something in his route or something with the age difference that didn't make it feel like we're pushing ourselves on him. Even though she's really not. But like, she kind of is a little bit, but not really. I don't know. It's in a gray area where I'm like,
It's not as bad as it could be, but it's still a little like, ooh, we're bordering on, you're going to become slightly cringy if we keep going like this. So, I hope they don't keep leaning into it, Because then it'll cross a line and be like, nope, nope, this is, no. Like right now it's like, you're on that border and it's a little amusing, but I'm a little concerned for it still. So, anyway. Usui gave me a defeated smile. Also, we keep pushing his boundaries and it's like, he's gonna fall in love with us. We know this. But then you're like, do you really need your walls pushed down? It's questionable. I surrender. Shall I send you my address on Ring? I nodded. In retrospect, I was shocked by my own boldness and giddy with the results. I mean, we sound like a creeper, but the thought of visiting Usui's place made me a little nervous, but I was excited to see for myself what it looked like. We set a date and time and returned to work. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Okay, aside, she has a crush on him, whatever. If she hadn't put moves on him or saying, hey, I can help you clean because, your wrist is bothering you, and, if it's bothering you, I'm really good at cleaning. And then him being like, no, I don't think that's appropriate. And then you're like, why, are you into me? And he's like, no. And then it shouldn't be a problem. And it's like, we're just, you know what I mean? There's really nothing wrong with anything that she's doing. But at the same time, there kind of is, but it's very, 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 like I said, it's at the very bottom level of we're staring at the creeper steps. We're staring at them, and nothing we're doing is really creepy or inappropriate, but because we're standing in the doorway staring at those stairs, it's please don't cross that line, don't start climbing up those steps, don't do it, and maybe we never will, but it's just hovering in that area where you're like, please don't. Finally, the weekend arrived. Based on the address Usui sent me on Ring, his place wasn't too far from Evergreen. I got off the train, took out my phone, and opened Ring. I wanted to message him before I arrived. Make sure you put your pants on. Glance. I'm at the station. I'll be there soon. I think we say I'm at the station. Yeah, okay. I would say because I'm at the station, so. I'm at the station. Because that's just pretty chill. I'm at the station. Just let you know. As I left the station and walked toward the residential area, my phone vibrated. He lives in that same fucking building we all live in. We all live on this motherfucking corner. Same background they use for everyone. Got it. Oh yeah, he's got a drink in his thing. Of course he does. I'll be waiting for you, and be safe on your way. Even his Ring messages were gentlemanly. Got it. With a little sticker. I put my phone away and made my way to Usui's place. It only took a few more minutes to arrive at his apartment complex. After checking the name and apartment number several times, I took a deep breath in front of the sunlit door. I mustered up my courage and rang the doorbell. And a gorgeous woman answered. There was a small click, and then Usui opened the door wide. Welcome, Miss Amasawa. It's a small space, but please, come in. With his invitation, I stepped over the threshold and into his apartment. And then we tumbled into bed. Just kidding. Seriously, it's like cement walls. It's kind of sad. He said that his place was getting messy, but I walked into a very neat and tidy room. You're like, picked up a piece of paper and throw it away, and you're like, I cleaned. And you're like, sir, there's not even a speck of fucking dust in here. You can dust right-handed. You don't need two hands to dust. I say that as someone who doesn't dust because I hate it. You think so? I suppose that's because I don't have much stuff. His denial aside, he clearly made a point of having a place for everything and keeping everything in its place. You must be tired after traveling so far. Please, make yourself at home. And by the way, have you had lunch yet? Really? Good, I haven't either. How about we have a bite to eat before we get to cleaning? I was surprised. It seemed like he'd already made me lunch. I worried that I had forced him to do extra work. No, I mean, he was like, what? No, it'd be inappropriate to have you over. And you're like, you don't think of me as a woman, though. And he's like, all right. And then he's like, but I made you lunch. Now you're flirting with me, sir. So, like, okay. all right. I was worried that we were being a little forceful and creepy, but like, we were like, I'll come over and clean. And he's like, I'll make lunch. Like, this is like Netflix and chill. Like, I literally was coming over to clean, but if you want me to dust your shelves, wink, wink, sure. I mean, I guess. We're. I think you think this is a date, and I'm okay with that. Totally fine with it. I did intend to actually dust, but. Dust? I'll do that too, sure. No. I made lunch for myself and made some extra just in case. And just give me a minute. Asui went to his kitchen. I offered to help, but he quickly refused, telling me that he was just serving what he had already made. While waiting quietly, I took a look around the room. His bookshelf caught my eye. What bookshelf? It was lined with books about interior design, cocktails, food, and similar topics. Maybe it's behind the couch. I wondered if all this was for Evergreen, but something seemed off. Evergreen served mostly Western food and drinks and was decorated accordingly. However, many of these books were about Japanese decor, cuisine, and sake. All the books appeared to have been read, with bookmarks and notes poking out of several of the pages. That's adorable. Sorry for the wait. I jumped up at Asui's voice and offered to help him carry the food. We sat down once the table was set. Well, let's eat. Having lunch at Asui's apartment felt surreal. Searching for a conversation topic, I brought up the books I noticed. I figured the books on alcohol and interior design would help with running the bar, but I'll admit, reading them is a hobby of mine. It's not as though either field is evolving much, but I find myself constantly buying more and more books on the topic. His bright smile showed his enthusiasm, and I could once again tell just how much his work meant to him. I asked if the cookbooks and books on Japanese decor were also books he read as part of his hobby. Well, the bright smile faltered. That's when he looks so sad you just want to hold him. But then that would be crossing a line we shouldn't do right now. But like, damn, I'm building up all these times I want to hold him for later when he lets us. A brief silence followed as he chose his words carefully. I'd call it a lingering attachment. They're all things related to my parents' inn. None of them will help me run Evergreen, but still. I began to understand why his shelves were filled with books on Japanese cuisine and design. With everything that happened with my parents, I haven't had a chance to put all that knowledge into practice. I wanted to make something different from what my parents had, so I opened a bar, but old habits die hard. Usui forced a smile that barely held back all his pent-up emotions. Aww. During our many interviews, Usui always showed a lingering concern about the fate of his family's inn. He said he walked away from it, but I think deep down he wants to return. Still, I knew it'd be best not to push him on this, so it was like one of the endings gonna be like he closes Evergreen and goes and like back to his parents' inn or whatever, you know what I mean, to like run it or whatnot? Because that'd be kind of sad. At the very least, I wanted to cheer him up. I reached out my hand and patted him on the head as he'd done for me many times. That's kind of adorable. Oh, look at him blush. It's so cute. It's been a long time since someone's patted me on the head. Everyone needs a head pat every once in a while, okay? His face grew red. He was surprised, but he didn't reject my touch. As I stroked his soft hair, rather than being excited or nervous, I just felt deep affection for him. If he was unhappy, I wanted to be there to help him feel better. Thanks for the encouragement. I'm fine, really. At his reassurance, I gently removed my hand. We both retreated to our lunches, silent and red in the face. But that's cute, we're both embarrassed. As we finished eating, I rolled up my sleeves, eager to begin cleaning. I told Usui not to worry about me and that he was free to read a book or do whatever he liked. Sit down with a glass of wine and watch someone dust for you. I've done that before, it's sexy as shit. You're like, I hate dusting, and watching a man dust while you sit there with your feet up with a glass of wine? What's the life, man? That's why rich people have pool boys, isn't it? You're like, just like watching a man clean. I don't know. He seemed reluctant to let me do all the work, but I insisted that he relax, and he eventually acquiesced. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. And be sure to take a break when you need it. You're like, you've got 4 things, tables, and 2 plants are the only thing I have to move. It's not that hard to clean, sweetie. He grabbed a book and settled down on the couch. Mostly. He kept looking over at me, desperate to help in some way. But I wouldn't budge. If I allowed him to help, I would have done nothing but come over and eat his food. Usui nodded and started reading, periodically peeking over his book to ensure I was okay. It's also kind of like, I mean, I don't think you'd leave me alone in your house, but it's like, how weird would it be to have, like a cleaning service, somebody come to clean and you're just flipping through a book, not doing it. It's not even like I'm sitting there doing other work or something. You're just reading a book while they clean. I mean, And so I cleaned without interruption. Although, I mean, then otherwise you'd be like, no, then some cleaning service has the keys to your house and they're in your house when you're not home. And that would be weird to me. I never liked when I lived in my apartment and they'd be like, oh, maintenance is going to come in to do stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to be home. I don't like that. I don't like that. That fucking weirds me out. Like somebody's in my space when I'm not home. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they had to come fix like the roof, right? I mean, I was home and they were up here like treating and painting. I was downstairs because I was like working and they were upstairs and they were just kind of sitting here like waiting for like the treatment stuff to dry before they put the paint coat on or whatever. But like it was weird even then because I'm like, I am sitting downstairs and they're sitting upstairs. I mean, they were just sitting up here in the loft, you know what I mean? Like, but it was still like, I mean, there was nothing I could do to fix that, like help them, you know what I mean? But it would just be weird. I don't know. But at least if I had somebody come in and clean for me, I'd be like, I'm at my desk working, not I'm just chilling out on the couch. Like, that's what I do on Saturdays. Just gonna watch you clean. But I mean, it kind of also makes sense because, like, if you have a 9 to 5 job where you're working during the week, and then you have cleaning people, like, you're doing it, you might have them come when you're not doing other stuff, but, like, just because you have free time doesn't mean your free time should have to be spent cleaning as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, especially if you own your house, then you gotta work. And then you got to come home and you got to clean everything. You got to cook for yourself. You got to take care of a family if you have one. If you have pets, you got to take care of them. And then you got yard work to do. You might have to fix stuff outside of your house. Like, when do you have time to actually, like, enjoy existing? Never. Because it's maintaining every other thing in your fucking life, including your body. And part of maintaining your body is enjoying your existence. And it's getting harder to fucking do that in this goddamn world. And, like, unless you really enjoy yard work, that's not enjoying existing, Cleaning is not enjoying existing. Like, so, like, I mean, I get it, but it does seem weird. I would feel weird if I was sitting there reading a book while someone's cleaning for me, but, again, unless it was, like, in the case of my ex-boyfriend doing it, I was like, no, I'm going to sit here and enjoy the fuck out of this because you like dusting. Okay, weirdo. But, like, that's what I need. I need a man who likes dusting. Sweet. Please dust for me. Holy hell. You know what I mean? Like, shit, hell yeah. But make sure you put everything fucking back in the exact goddamn spot it was in. It's really difficult with the amount of knickknacks and shit I have. But anyway, after I had cleaned for some time, startled by a noise, I turned around to see Usui's book had fallen to the floor. Is he sleeping? Usui was clenching his wrist, his face twisted in pain. He must have strained it while reading. Sweetie, again, why do you not have a brace on? The book was large and appeared very heavy. It was a photographic book of interior designs. A photo book. Photographic book? Why? Seeing that, What if I turn the pages for you? How about I hold it? Okay, these are the dumbest choices ever, because it's like the book fell, you could go, well, I'll grab it. Like, see, the man could sit there, and here's how you do this. Pillow or whatever, depending on the angle you want. A book on the pillow or on your lap, and then you are just turning the pages. You don't have to hold a giant fucking book while you read it.
Like, if I'm sitting downstairs and I don't have my Switch docked to my TV, if I'm just using it, I don't hold it in both my hands because my hands get. I prop it up on a pillow and then I just tap the buttons with either I tap the screen as I'm reading it or I tap the button with my left hand, whatever. Like I don't have to hold it in my hand. I can just set it on a pillow. I mean, work smarter, not harder. Put the fucking pillow, put a book on your goddamn lap. Put your feet up, put your book on the lap. Like, why are you trying to hold a heavy book? Like, who the fuck wants to do. Come on. Come the fuck on. This is stupid. Why? Why is this man being an idiot? Anyway, I don't know what the right answer is because I think both of these are stupid. It's like put the book on your fucking lap, you dumbass. Why are you holding it, idiot? Like, how about I hold it? Okay. No, I mean, that's probably better than turning the pages for him, to be fair. Masui hesitated at my offer to help him read the book. Like, he's like, I can't even read a book. Sir, you're just being an idiot, though. No, I think that would be a bit much. He mumbled and looked up at me. This book is very interesting. Rather than you helping me read it, how about you take a break and we read it together? His suggestion wasn't so different from mine. Perhaps this was just his way of accepting. I mean, that makes sense. It's like, take a break, and then, so I'm holding the book, and then we're flipping them, like... But then it also, because, like, if you think about it, like, yes, if you're injured, okay, you know, you're gonna have to accept help or whatever, but does kind of like, here, let me hold the book for you. I'll hold the book for you. Do you want me to turn the pages for you? You're like, I'm not a fucking invalid. Jesus goddamn Christ. But he's acting like one because it's like, you can put the book, it's a heavy book, but you don't have to hold it in your hands. You could put it on your lap. You could put it on the table and sit at the table and read. You know what I mean? Like, the couch is more comfortable, but do you not have a pillow that you could put on your... This is why having a ton of pillows and blankets are good. You always have a pillow that's the right, like, no, this one's too high, this one's too low, put the angle at, no, okay. Put your feet up, get an ottoman. I mean, seriously, like, this is just... I know it's just a way to, like, oh, we could get close to him, but it's kind of dumb. It's like these people have never heard of, like, working smarter, not harder. Come on. The two of us sat side by side as we looked through the book. They're just making so many dumb choices in his route that you were like, why did you have to make him be like, men are wolves? Okay, please don't do that. And we got past it, and it's fine now. We're acting slightly like a little bit of a stalker girl. Not really, but we're standing in that doorway. Poor choice. She made the stupidest fucking proposal to Kobase, like, this. You're like, why are you making the dumbest choice? Who was drunk when they wrote this route and came up with, like, just the worst way to do it? Like, overall, it's still fun, don't get me wrong, but, like, when you, like, break it down, you're like, there's a lot of dumb choices happening here. There are a lot of dumb ways to get us into the situation we need to be in. Poor choices. Poor writing choices, I feel like. I feel like there was a better way to craft the story. Story itself is fine. But the methods of getting us into the paths we need to go down to get us into the story you're trying to craft are questionable at best, you know? I held it in my hands and turned the pages. With our shoulders nearly touching, I was tempted to lay my head on his shoulder. Okay, maybe that's a line, don't cross. Yet at the same time, I was so engrossed in the book that I couldn't focus on much else. Whenever I told Usui that I liked the aesthetics of one of the room, he pointed out its appealing features. What about this one? It's functional, anticipating the movements of the people who live there, and the accents add an elegant touch. It's pleasing to look at. We had a lively discussion about all the different styles of rooms. I have such a fucking itch on my wrist, but my hand is resting on my boob because the bird is laying on my chest, smooshed against my hand, totally fucking asleep, and so I cannot itch my wrist because it's kind of under the bird where I have an itch. And like, I will just rub him. And it's so fucking... The positions I get myself stuck into for this damn bird. Aw, you're so cute. He's sleeping.
We had a lively discussion about all the different styles. I read that. And by the way, I was thinking of buying some new cups for the bar. What do you think of this porcelain one? In response to his question, happy or sad? I feel like we should go with happy. Yeah, okay. Like, we should agree with him. I gotta put my remote down to be able to choose. Asui smiled at me when I nodded. I'm glad you agree. In that case, I'll pick up some next time I go out. After flipping through pages of various items, we came to a page with an entire room layout. What type of interior do you like, Miss Amasawa? Whatever you want. Whichever interior you're in. I see. So in the future, you'd like to live in a place like that, then? All this talk about the places I'd lived, what I liked, and what I wanted in the future, they all involve you, goddammit! It all sounded so... What is it, Miss Amasawa? I tried to shake off the image of the two of us as lovers, picking out our next apartment. Aww. Once I finished cleaning, Usui and I headed to a nearby mall to do some shopping. Our plan was to buy some kitchenware and other decorations to be used at Evergreen. Miss Amasawa, should we take a look at this store next? Usui couldn't carry much due to his wrist sprain. We decided to go together since he hadn't been able to buy in bulk since the incident. At first I'm like, we're going to the thing to pick out dishes, and I'm like, this is oddly romantic. And then I'm like, well, I mean, to be fair, I probably got to carry the bags. So, not, like, oh, I can help you carry stuff. So, I mean, fair enough, but it is still oddly romantic. How can I help you today? I'm looking for something aesthetically pleasing to spruce up a room. I see, something to brighten up where you two live. It took a moment for the shopkeeper's words to sink in, but it was clear she thought Usui and I were a couple. Aw, she's not judging us. He always thought he was too old for me, but perhaps the two of us looked more like a couple than he thought. You're like, good. This woman's like, I get it, girl. I like older men too. She's like, oh, for you and your daughter? Ouch! That'd have been so fucking hilarious. But then he never would have fallen in love with us. She's like, oh, for the happy couple. Cute. When's the wedding? At least that's what I allowed myself to think. Then he ruined it. No, I run a bar and I'm looking for new decorations. She's one of my staff members. Like how he quickly was like, no, for my bar. She works for me. And it's like, you couldn't even let me indulge for 4 seconds. His denial was so swift and brief that it left me practically decimated. Yeah, right? That's almost worse than the lady thinking you're his daughter. Did he really despise the idea of me being mistaken for his girlfriend so much that he felt compelled to deny it immediately? I had an excellent time today. Thank you for coming. He took the words out of my mouth. We parted ways there with the plan that I'd help clean his room again next week. You're like, and he only has 4 chapters too. I thought they all had longer. I scrolled before and I checked, but I thought that all of them had like 6 chapters or so. Did they really all only have 4? No, they all had 6. They're treating him like, I mean, Nori. Actually, no. I mean, Higa and Yofi only had 4 chapters. No, even Nori had 6. Because I'm like, I understand those the other 2 because they're the quote-unquote secret routes, but he only has 4 chapters. And then you get the ending. So, like, why in the world would they give him such a short route? Especially when they're making the romance happen so slow. You know what I mean? Like, we've fallen for him, and he's like, nope. We know he kind of has feelings for us, but he keeps noping the fuck out of it. So it's really weird that they're going to, now we're more than halfway through his route, and then there's just going to be like, no, I passionately need you, and then we're with them. Like, what? Like, I'm just surprised. And I'm surprised because they keep bringing up his family and, like, the awkward, and I'm like, okay, well, then I would have figured if he had 6 chapters, like, okay, now we're halfway through, so then we're going to have, like, a family thing, and then, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's not going to happen either. So they're bringing up
So it feels like they half-assed his route. You know what I mean? Like they tried to, instead of like, oh, have family drama where maybe the age difference thing, if we start seeing each other, or maybe we kind of are like flirting or whatever, and then we're dealing with family drama that he had, then the family makes more drama because I'm so young and whatever, and then he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, where that was an issue or something, they just were like, no, Sui's here and and then he's just not gonna like you, but you like him, and then everything will be fine. And it's like, but like, you could have done so much more with it. And it's like, you don't really have the time now. Partway through chapter 3. I mean, we just got into chapter 3. Just because we've had a bunch of choices already in here doesn't mean anything. But like, we're still more than halfway through his route. You know, and you've, like, no, like, it's just him kind of pushing us away because he doesn't think that, he thinks we'll get over having a crush on him type of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's it? That's going to be it? And it's like, I mean, okay, but you set up like he's got something going on with his family and they're just going to probably, like, gloss over it. And it's like, you could have done so much more with that or just not done it, you know? I don't know. Anyway. Still love the man, but I just feel like they're kind of giving him the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? But I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.